Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. We are looking at the VIX, y'all. And what's interesting is we had this level here marked at 1437. We hit a high of 1436, which is not interesting that we got rejected here, right? So it looks like the VIX is declining under this 5 EMA. We're looking at it on this 30-minute chart. Y'all know I like to start there, right? So as of right now, I always say, where are the trouble places, right? So 1411 is going to be a support area for us for the VIX. Now, if we back to the upside, if we should break back above this level of 1416, we could very well come back and have trouble around the 1424 area. If we break that 1424, 1431, and again here at 1436 or 37, breaking that 1437 area, we could very well have trouble at 1442. And let me say this, right? Just because we're going the SPY, and we're going to get to the SPY, just because we're at that place of declining does not mean we can't find support and move back to the top, so just be careful with that. Now, to the downside for the VIX, just know that under this 1411, we have 1408 and this 200 EMA, which is around the 1405, and again here at the $14 range. Breaking this $14 range, in my opinion, is going to be a level, or 1398. It's going to be a strong level of support, in my opinion, for the VIX. We could very well come back to 1392 and breaking that. Look, we have a lot of support down here at the 1379 area. So again, I look at the VIX because it gives me an idea of what's going on with the SPY. And as you can see, y'all, this was yesterday. SPY created a gathering spot. As always, I like to go there, right? Came up, got rejected, and so off, right? So what was interesting about the SPY is this 606.01 area down to this, let's say, 605.33. We traded in this zone here for a while, and then it decided to come out of that, or the gathering spot, right? It decided to come out of that back to the downside. So what's interesting is, even though, we broke out of this area, look where price found support right at this line here. I'm going to see if I can make that a little bit bigger, y'all. It seems like every time I do that, I tend to, okay. So it seems as if we broke out of this gathering spot, came down, found support on this support line, and actually that was 12.2, the high that it made on 12.2, 604.32. That was our support line for a while. Yes, we broke down under that slightly, 604.20. So we traded from that 604.32 down to that 604.20 area. And that's why it's so important, y'all, that we mark, like when it makes a new high or make a new low or something like that, mark that level. So I knew that from December 2nd, that is where we came back from a high and sold off and found support in this area. Now, what's interesting about the SPY today, this hammer here, we moved back to the upside only to get rejected at this ATR trailing stop. But look, there's a lot of resistance here for the SPY. So where are the trouble places, right? We're getting rejected here. We need to get back to, in order to get back to the upside, we need to break above this level I have marked here at 605.54. And if we break that 605.63, could very well be another trouble place for us. So be careful if you're going to enter your trades, right? So 605, let's say 68 could be a trouble place. And again here at 606.01, that is something I needed to remember. And above that 606.20, if we break that level, we could possibly have trouble at 606.44, again at 606.79 and 606.99. Beyond that 607.27, I like to give those numbers because anything is possible right now. Back to the downside, y'all saw how just that quick price came back and it's finding support here at this 604.94 area. We got rejected at this ATR trailing stop only to come down and find support here. So to the downside for the SPY, if by chance we break under 604.65, we could very well find support back in this range again, 604.32 down to the 604 20 could very well be another support area for us. Now, if we break this 604.20 or this 604 area, I would definitely watch the SPY around the 603.82. And if we break that 603.82, we could very well come back to 1129 high of the 603.26. Y'all, remembering those support and resistance places, very, very important. So if you trade the SPY today, y'all know I always say trade carefully. Anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. We are now looking at Tesla, and Tesla does what Tesla does. Yesterday we made a high of 404.80. Tesla closed at 389.79. It too sold off only to come here to create a gathering spot for us, right? I like to mark those places because there's a strong possibility that we're going to come back to this area again for Tesla. And I'm going to mark this zone because that's the high of this, where the body of this is. In my opinion, we could very well come back to this area for Tesla. So where are the trouble places as of right now? It seems like pre-market support is around this area of 390.42. Price is trading in this zone as of now. Or we could very well, I'm under that because of the moving averages, and I know we're really, really close. So I'm going to just stay where we are right there for support. Resistance is around 394.18. So this will be our zone for Tesla as of right now. Support is here at around the 390.55, resistance at around 394.18. If we should break that level of resistance to the upside, right? So breaking that 394.18, we could have trouble again here at this 396.74 or the 397.16 area. That could be a resistance area for us. Breaking that 399.17, and again here at 402.02 isn't going to be another 402.02. It's going to be another area of resistance for Tesla. If we break that 402.02 area, we could have trouble around 404.80 again, which is the high of this candle here. So we need to be mindful of that, right? So back to the downside for Tesla, breaking under the 390.42 area, we could very well come back to this area around the 386.86 and find support. And where I found that is I went to the body of these candles here. Yes, it did wick, so we can find support somewhere around where this body is, which is around the 386. Let's see. 386.99 area. Breaking that level for Tesla, we could very well have trouble around 384.91 and again at 381.68. If we break the 381.68, keep in mind that 200 EMA as of now is at the 378.77 area for Tesla. Again, on this 30-minute chart, y'all, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. It looks like we're trading in a zone. We can move up or we can move down. So if you trade Tesla today, trade carefully, right? So let's go to AMD just to see where we are today. AMD closed at 130.87. It too seems to be trading in this zone, y'all. You could see it here very clear that this is an area that price has been trading in. And if we could actually come down to where this body is here, or if you want to, it's how you see it. Let me say that there's no right or wrong. It's just how you're looking at it at that time. So I'm going to see if I can make it a little bit bigger so that we can see the lines that I just, there we are. Okay. So price came back to this area. Price is in this area. So if we break this level, we could very well come back to this level. So that's why I marked those lines, right? So where are the trouble places right now for AMD? Back to the upside, we would need to get back above the 131.85. Breaking that, we could have trouble around 132.08, which is not far from the ATR trail and stop at 132.16. If we break that level, 132.90, 132.60 could be a trouble place for us. And if we break the 132.60, I would definitely look around the 132.97. That could be a trouble place for us for AMD. Now breaking that 132.97, we can come back to this, retest this 134.15. Those are going to be resistance areas for AMD today. Now to the downside, breaking under this 131.14, we could very well have trouble around the 130.64. Breaking that level, we can have trouble around 129.72. And if we should break that level, 129.24. Breaking the 129.24 for AMD will be interesting. I would say that we could very well come back to this level here at 126.67. So if you trade AMD today, those are places to the downside and to the upside. Again, we can look at it and see clearly that It too has been trading in zones, and it could have a strong move up or a strong move down, but just wait on confirmation before you enter your trades. And once it goes against your Y, get out. I say that often, right? So we are now looking at NVIDIA. NVIDIA closed at 138.81. As you can see, look, price came back to this area here, 137.14. We need to remember that because that was a support area. We bounced off that, move to the upside. Looks like we have broken through several layers of resistance. That ATR trailing stop, our previous resistance or support area that we had marked, we are at this 50 EMA. So right now that is holding us up as of now, looking at it again on this 30-minute chart here. So where are the trouble places for NVIDIA? We could very well retest this area here around, let's see, 139.12 was a resistance area. We can come back and retest that. If we should break that this time, we could possibly have trouble again around 139.72. Again at 140.06 or 140.08, breaking that level 140.38. And if we should break that somewhere around the 140.68, which is really close to this 200 EMA. So just know that if we break the 140.68 area for NVIDIA, we could very well have trouble around the 140.92. Now back to the downside, we're at a congestion area to where we have a lot of support here, right? So under this level of 138.46, we could very well come back to, let's say, around the 138.04, 138.15 area. That could be a strong an area of support. Breaking that level, we can come back to 137.46, 137.25, which is the ATR trailing stop, or this 137.13. So that's really close. Again, I like to look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale. So just watching that 137.14, under the 137.14, 137.02, and if we should break that 136.67, could very well be support places for NVIDIA. So if by chance you trade NVIDIA today, y'all know I say trade carefully, right? So we do have a few, let me make sure, no, I would definitely just watch those areas. I'm not sure we have inside day candles today. So we've looked at NVIDIA, we've looked at Tesla, we've looked at the SPY, AMD. Let's look at Apple today just to see where we are. Apple, I just love to go to this. You see how the price is just trading in this line, in this zone here, right? So we can mark our support area. If we just find where the body of the candles are resting and it's forming a line, you know, we just find that area. Now our resistance area for this would have been in this area here. So Apple is was just trading in this zone here. Price went up, but as you can see, we're coming back to the zone that we just marked, right? So that's important to remember. So as of right now, the trouble places if we break out of this zone. So breaking to the upside above the 247.56, the 248 area could be a trouble place for us, for Apple. So if we break above this 248, I would set an alert to let me know, you know, we have broken through a level of resistance. Now back to the downside, it wouldn't surprise me under this 247 area that we come back to retest 246.51. Under that level, we can come all the way back down to this 244.51. Under that 244.10, if we break that, 243.76, and again at 243.24. Under the 243.24, 242.92, and if we should break that, it brings us back to this previous gathering spot here around the 242.40 area. So if you trade Apple today, I would say trade carefully. Those are places that I would definitely watch for Apple. Again, y'all, I say so often that in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Whatever stop loss you choose to use, if it's just a mental loss, however you choose to use it, y'all just have the discipline to execute your plan. It's better to have a small loss so that you can make that back instead of wiping out your account. And what's really important is making sure you understand the charts. And you know, I always say that trading is, the charts are telling a story or it's saying something. We just have to understand, you know, how to read it, right? So again, y'all, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very profitable, very productive day today. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Why? Because we learn and we grow together, y'all. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.